Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday night segment here on the Outer Realm with myself, Michelle DeRoche, and my bubbly little companion, Amelia Pisano, is back from the sick house, I guess we could say, a little bit. We are broadcasting live here on the International Public Radio United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM from beautiful New Orleans. We are fully sponsored by the amazing people over at Folgers Coffee, whom we love a whole bunch. And we are honored also, of course, to be sponsored by Dr. Snick, sonic surgeon, aka Justin Snicker, who is an award-winning composer of Halloween, horror, sci-fi, and dark wave electronic music, which could be found everywhere. Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, you name it, it's there. So, regrettably, tonight our guest, Micah Dank, cannot make it. He is under the weather. See, I get my co-host back, and I lose the guest.
I win.
Don't know how it happens. As serious is the season.
Tis the freaking season. Just saying. I've been sick since last Thursday. So, hi Jim. Hi Wayne.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, please find us over on UFO Paranormal YouTube. That's the one where you can tag Amelia and she can respond to you a little bit quicker. International Public Radio on YouTube. Also Twitch, UFO Paranormal Radio. Canada's Most Haunted Facebook. That's the big page, guys. And that's not the group page, that's the pro page. Also, we have the Outer Realm, of course, going to find us there. UFO Paranormal Radio Network and United Public Radio on Facebook. And of course, News on the Flip Side and Joe Montaldo, UFO Undercover. Did I get everything?
I don't know.
Holy crap. So
hi, Janie. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Wayne. Thank you, Wayne. Hi, Jim. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better than I was. Yesterday was a crazy day.
Hello, Jerry. Yeah, okay. We're just making our way down. Everybody's just popping on.
Yeah. Hi, Zachman.
Hey.
A lot better. Thank you, Zach. Still sick, but the cold. It's just a cold. One of my friends said to me, "Aren't you going to go test it?" I go, "For what? The sniffles?" I'm like, I'm sneezing.
I know.
Everybody automatically goes to the evil.
Well, it doesn't always work. I don't know. A good flu could be evil.
Hi, Jonathan. Pardon? A good flu. And it's possible that it was a slight flu, but again, like you said,
it's still not fun.
Cold and stress together.
This isn't the time of year you want to be sick either, because that's when you're busy, right? Christmas shopping, this and that.
That was done October 1st.
Yeah, I know, right? So I know.
I'm not that person. I don't have the blue, big, giant steel to go at this time of year. Thank you, Jamie. I hate that. I like the cold weather. I don't understand how I get sick when I'm the one who doesn't go anywhere. Like, better me than my daughter, right? But
absolutely.
And that's probably why I got sick, because I'm always home. And I'm not getting fresh air. But anyways, it's that time of year.
It's tough.
That time of year, and it's stressful.
But Micah will be back next week, guys. Yeah. So next Thursday.
Enoch. So you have time to look that up and watch it. And Michelle posted a whole bunch of stuff about Enoch on our Facebook page. Don't go look now.
Oh, yeah.
Wait till after the show.
I think it's going to, not right now. Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's going to be great. He's going to start off doing the Book of Revelations, and then he's going to move over to the Book of Enoch with all of his flair and his research. He's got PowerPoint and, oh, hey, John.
We're in
And-
Canada too, John.
Yeah. So I think it's going
See
to
the
be
flag.
pretty exciting. Looking forward to it. You know, I
Me too.
hope he feels better soon.
I hope
Hey,
so as
Jonathan,
well.
as well. Been a while. What's up with the gray zone?
Yeah.
What is up with the gray zone? What do you mean? It's going to actually be back, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. What's up with it is I am one dang person
I'm laughing. This
trying
is
really hard to get some really good research.
I like
But yeah, and then we're going to be off for another 2 weeks because, of course, every Saturday one falls on the 25th, right? Christmas. The other one's going to be New Year's Day. So then we're going to start fresh again. So you're only going to get one more gray zone before Christmas, and it's not this weekend. It'll be the following weekend for all
That's a
those
gift.
looking. I know. I'm
I
sorry.
like Jerry. This is Jerry's better half, otherwise known as Mom. Hi, Mom.
Because I didn't know that. Wow.
I miss seeing you in there. It's good to see you. Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I'm a little, out there, but I haven't seen any videos. No, I know, but that's the old channel. It's not back up yet. It
No.
will be, and we will keep everybody posted of that when the time comes where they all go back up. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And there's so many good ones. If you have you been catching them every week that we've had them, Jonathan, or are you relying on the archives?
Let us know. There. So nice to see everybody there. I guess no one else is shopping, and I don't think the stores are open late right now. Anyways, I think it's still too early in the month.
Well, malls are opening up again until 9 here,
Yeah,
which is big.
I
deal.
did it the week way.
Yeah, hey,
I
Mike.
did it online in October.
I try to do everything online. My daughter made me go to the mall today, and it made me realize how much of a fan I'm really not of the mall. I use the archives while working from home. Oh, sorry. Then you'll be in for a treat when everything goes back up.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a whole bunch of good ones. Because, I mean, with Gray Zone, we are currently at episode, it'll be 49.
Wow.
So there's lots. I know.
That's crazy. That's almost a year's worth.
I know. It's pretty amazing. There's some really good topic matter up there, too. It's not 50. What are you talking about?
I'm
Joe?
positive Michelle's right and you're wrong, Joe. Just saying. I
Oh,
noticed.
he is right.
Oh, shoot. Like I said, I'm positive you're right, Joe, and Michelle's wrong.
I was looking at the last episode.
Congratulations.
Christmas of last year. Oh my gosh, Jonathan, where have you been?
Oh, I love Wayne because it just flew up. You have to read Wayne's
I'm always right. Okay, debatable. Always right and squirrely, so we never know. Talk about watching a scary series that can open a doorway and let a shadow peeps
I'll
in.
let you set that preface because I didn't realize that
Okay.
I had seen this, and I probably told Michelle, you gotta watch this series because I watch more television than she does. So
Yeah.
It's always on for me in the background for noise. And when I went to look at it and I see season 2, episode 2, I'm like, well, I guess I did watch it.
Oh my gosh.
But I think that's fantastic. As always, Wayne really could produce our shows. But you go right ahead with the story.
Oh, well, I mean, sorry. We decided we were going to watch the TV series based on the movie The Exorcist. There's season 1 and season 2. And to show you just how well done it is, somehow in this house, a shadow makes its way through the damn airways. But I'm so used to ET. I'm just like, oh, some noisy little buggers tonight. Meanwhile, I'm gone all day today, all day. And yeah. So then Wayne messages and says, I just saw a shadow go up the stairs. I'm like, what? What?
Hasn't happened
I'm
in
stuck
years.
in traffic.
He's not since Bubbly's been around.
I know. I'm just like, I'm like, gosh, dang it, those friggin' ETs. And he's like, oh yeah, they're there too. Great. Great. So it happens.
Point being, when you watch a series, you'll explain it, because if I explain it, I get angry.
Well, you know what? It's so funny because I always say it's mindset, right? And I mean, we're sitting there watching this show going, oh, right on.
It's a great series.
It's a great series, but
Yeah.
it really makes you realize how well done it is and the sounds behind it. Here's the thing. When you're listening to voice recordings, for example, they will tell you when you're listening to EVPs, depending on what it is, to use headphones. The reason for that is because certain sounds that are allegedly, let's say, demonic, non-human, can bleed through and can basically open up a door. So,
yeah.
But, this has never happened to me ever because I don't think anything's been done this well. But I mean, I've listened to things because when I listen to EVPs, I'll put them through my Bose system, which is my surround sound on my television.
Yeah.
I've not had this issue.
She's
So
not
how
afraid.
freaking good is this series when you have the sounds that can come just like, wow, what is that? That poor Shadow probably didn't know what the hell hit him. He's probably like, where how to get here?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know for a fact that a lot of television shows will go on YouTube, and I've seen this in a documentary. If you know this as well, if you've seen this, please chime in the chat room. We'll get to everything as soon as we can.
Yeah, we're going to make our way down the list for
Yeah.
comments too, guys.
So anyways, I know that they use real actual audio from some exorcisms that they will go on YouTube or go on a site where there's exorcists and that, and they'll actually pipe that through a show. So that is something that's very concerning, especially when we're the ones who have to clear it out of your own house. But yeah,
it can be.
So I'm wondering if they did that with this. I don't know what episode you landed on. So
I think we're season 2 right now, second episode. So
that's where oh my God, that is so weird. That's where I turned on Netflix today and it said season 2, episode 2. I said that in the beginning. That's where I left off. Did you watch all of episode 2?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a wow episode.
It is. It's a really great episode.
That's a makes you
highly recommended, people. But if you can do it with
headphones, we didn't tell them what it's called.
Use earbuds, Bluetooth, something. If your TV can connect to it somehow, because wow.
I think noise canceling is a good idea. It's a great option if you have something over the ear, especially if you have children or pets in the house. We're not kidding. This does happen. I mean, it just did happen, and it does happen, and I know it's happened to me. So just be careful, because I know a lot of people like to get into things and go onto YouTube, and they tend to try and look up the infamous Annalise Michelle, and it's like, you
really have to be careful. That's for sure. It's funny because I work with people from many religious backgrounds. I've worked with priests, and I've worked with people who do deliverances, which is, I guess, the Christian religion's version of an exorcism. And one of the first things I recall her doing when she came in, it was a team, and she was their medium. And this family, being a born-again Christian, waited a year for this team who traveled the world doing deliverances, waited for them to come in. I was connected up with them through a friend of mine who was a Christian minister in North Carolina at the time. And she started going around the house and pinpointing things, like even from horror movies. And at first I thought, it's a little harsh, because they're just items and things like that.
Yeah.
And, she's just like, she would see DVDs and say, that's not good. That's got to go. That's got to go. That's got to go. And it's like, it was really interesting. So I think depending on the faith or your belief system, it can be like they're pretty strict about it.
It'll
but
affect
always
your mindset.
Try with headphones if possible.
Or you could do what we do and just blast it on.
No, caution to the wind, jump in with both feet and see what happens.
Yeah,
that's what I say. That's
blast surround sound, and it's like, because there are some wicked noises in that. We never told them what the series is called. Should we tell them? We don't have to give where it's
No,
streaming.
for sure. The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Exorcist series. It's phenomenal. It's so well done. And you too can end up with your own shadow person.
Yeah. Black
Don't.
Mass is another good one. I think it's only 3
Don't.
episodes.
It is. Black Mass is
Yeah,
good. No, it's
that
got
one's
seven
excellent.
segments also. Actually, it's got 7
Is it
episodes.
7? I couldn't remember. I just remember
7.
being disappointed because it ended, because I loved it so much.
It was so good. I'm hoping they come out with a season 2 on that also.
Oh, I hope so, with everything opening up. I really do. And I was telling Michelle, the show that I really love on television right now, and then we'll move right past this, is the Osbournes Want to Believe, because it's both funny
It's
and
well
pretty
it's well
cool.
done. It's well done.
Well, yeah, and I like how they give it a meter, and I love how Sharon and Ozzy interact.
They
and
are a tough crowd.
it was so funny hearing I can't remember his name, his son's name, hearing him say Okanagan. He couldn't say it because of his British accent. So he was saying, oh, Jack, that's right. I should know that. I love that. He was saying Okanagan.
Oh.
They were, all 3 were saying Okanagan. I'm like, Okanagan.
That's interesting.
Right? And I could understand how they don't get that. But yeah, Okanagan. I'm like, oh my God. Because I thought he was going to say Oh Canada. And then he's like, Okanagan, BC. And I'm like, you mean Okanagan?
Okanagan. Okay. Poor Jack. It's okay.
No, it's all 3 of them. They were all saying it like that.
So British. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to start with some questions or comments. This one here, Jocelyn. Okay, Jocelyn. I never believed in hauntings till I lived in this place. There was something seriously off there. I thought I was losing my mind. Moved within 6 months of being there. Okay, that is a comment here. And she goes on to say, oh, hold on. Where are you going? The stream is moving. What's the most disturbing case you worked on? Oh,
well, that's Michelle.
There's a few, actually. There's a few. I have to say the ones with children bother me the most. So it's not one that's really more disturbing than the next when it comes to certain types of activity, because I've only in the last 18 to 19 years worked in malevolent cases or alleged demonic infestations. So when you have God, there's so many. When children are involved, you have to really, that gets prioritized. And in this specific case, this is the one I was talking about with when the ministers, deliverance ministers came in that we waited a year for. It became very difficult because the child at the time when we got started was only 4, and he was tricked into making an invitation by an entity that claimed it was another little boy. Now, it wasn't a little boy. It was an entity. And as soon as that invitation got made, things got really bad in there. So, and it came in because of a family friend who came in with another little girl who was also having issues. And they were new friends to this family and came in and having play dates with the other little one. And it got to be really, really convoluted. But I found out from the little boy, and he started telling me stories about how his imaginary friend would get mad at him for not letting him come and play, and for not basically, he was shape-shifting. He was threatening to hurt his mom if he couldn't come to play. So he invited him over. And that was really hard, because when an invitation gets made, these things take it really seriously. So what do you do when you have a little child who gets tricked into it and you don't want to frighten them? But it's always helpful if you can get them to sort of rescind that invitation. So essentially I had to sort of use, a bit of a reverse psychology and just say, well, because he's 4. And I said, well, did you ask your mommy if he could come and play? And he said, no. I go, well, did he ask his mom?
You were brilliant with this. Yeah. He
goes, no. I said, well, his mommy's very worried about him. So what are you going to do about that? He doesn't want to go home. You better go home right now. You better get out of this house and go home. And then his mother looked at him and said, you need to ask me too before you start inviting friends over. And it took the fear out of everything. And at that point, it started making my job a little bit easier because now the mindset of the child was changing. He felt like he was in control of something. And the family itself, like, I see people who are terrified, and as soon as they realize that somebody else is taking the weight for a little while, and they're not crazy, somebody believes them, they really do step up. I've seen people just like, you get out of my house. I mean, I'm ready to hit the window and fly out by the time they start, So it's empowerment. And I think that's really important. But it's not that one case is worse per se than another case. And I hate to use the word case because these are all people.
I
So,
know.
it's not like one is worse than the other, because to them, this is earth changing for them, life changing. And it really is. It's not an easy thing to go through.
It's
It
like
really isn't.
a death of peace.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, for sure. So I would say the case with the little boy was probably one that let's just say it resonates with me. It stays with me because I'm a mom, and that stayed with me. But I think the worst of everything with experiences, not that it was difficult to work with, of course, is when it affected, like, my own daughter. Every now and then these things infiltrate, and sometimes you never see it coming. And this time it affected my daughter. So, we had to deal with that. So it was something that was just sort of ongoing. But again, that's a little bit of a different show.
I think that's great that you mentioned that, though, because I don't think you can mention that enough when people ask for assistance and yet continue to, let's say, use a Ouija board, even though we've talked about the Ouija with them and saying this is not a form of communication that you should be using because you're not aware of what's coming in, or you've brought this in and blah, 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 and open portals and the whole thing. That happens a lot.
It does.
It's the same thing. They don't realize the risk that you and I take, or anybody coming in to assist. That risk is with our own family members as well. So,
And it does.
you have to keep that in mind when we can only help you so long, and then we're like, I can't anymore because it's a huge risk. It's like, I don't know, it's like getting shot at and constantly calling the police, but not moving from your location.
It's true, because they do follow. I mean, to touch briefly, with my daughter, there was an episode of Paranormal Survivor that I was brought in to do because I was a researcher, one of the researchers that was there. And the story was completely wrong. And not because the producers were, just wanted to be shoddy about it. It's because there were two locations that were involved, and the other family would not participate. So they had to sort of roll all the events to make it look like it was happening to one individual, right? So it was really hard. But she actually, my daughter, went blind for almost exactly 30 days.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. We
Scary.
brought her we brought her to the optometrist, we brought her to specialists. She had, CAT scans, MRIs, you name it. Had her assessed psychologically, trying to figure out, is it something that just shut off over there because of, of an anxiety or something, what was going on. It took my family doctor to say within, as we were approaching those 30 days, we had a very good, friendship over, because he, been delivered my children, just been there forever. And he said, he goes, have you been working on anything lately that could be causing this? Because there was no physical reason. And from what doctors have said, who have talked to her, psychiatrists and psychologists, there was no emotional reason or mental reason for any of this to be happening. It made no sense.
No.
And I realized, because we were supposed to go back just to do a check-in, and I went, oh, wow, yes, I think so. So I just sort of tapped back in, And what was interesting is the client had actually, she goes, okay, I said, well, it was wintertime. I said, we just can't come back. It was a storm. And, she goes, well, we'll put it off. I went, okay. So basically it was a matter of, I'm like, well, what do you want? Like, I'm not making any deals here, but it was just like, stay away. And I'm just like, well, I could say stay away because I'm not going back right now. So twist on words a little bit. But do you know, literally by the next day, she could see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, her vision's never been 100% what it was, but she could see.
That's
Almost
what
like
matters.
flipping a switch. That's how much they can affect you.
It's a lot to deal with as a mom, as someone to help. It's a lot to deal with. Hi, Starling. Hi, Bradley.
Hey, hello, everybody. Wow, this is great. Yeah, it's when you live it, like I've lived through that attachment before. But that I always say that is the one situation that set precedence for how I did things. From that point on, it humbled me to the point, not that I was cocky, but you just never think that something like that could happen because you take the precautions for yourself. You're the only one that's there. You take the precautions. So, okay, nothing's going to follow me back. There's never any guarantee with that. And honestly, like, as crazy as it was, you don't think it can happen to you. It does happen to you. And it really, it humbles you. And from that point on, let me tell you, I dotted a few more I's and I crossed a few more T's before I even did any, before I even left a location, before I even entered a location. Yep. What's this? I went to work screaming at entities to leave. Oh, there we go. That's right. That's how you do it. Be respectful. Otherwise, not so much.
That you got to be careful with that. What pill you toss out
shaking in fear. No, it's true. Yeah. Stand your ground. That's exactly what you have to do. You have to stand your ground. You have more control than you think you do.
No provocation.
Absolutely. All right.
You don't win with them when you provoke.
No, it could go bad. Yeah. What is most haunted abandoned locations that is extremely haunted in all of America that you went? Oh wow, I don't know because I've been to some really amazing locations throughout the world. Actually, not as many in America that I would consider abandoned and super haunted. I've been invited to a lot of amazing places. One of the places which is not abandoned, and you could probably do a paranormal investigation there if you worked it out with the owner. It's very regimented. It has to be because everybody goes in there with their own techniques, doing their own thing. The Knickerbocker Hotel is highly, highly haunted, but it's not nasty haunted. And unfortunately, by the time some people are done with it, because maybe they're not doing proper investigations, things come in and the owner's usually left with a bigger problem, but I mean, I can tell you most haunted place. I mean, I've been haunted places, like I said, throughout the world. And of course, the haunted forest of Romania is always the one I like to talk about because it's ridiculously haunted and not a lot of people have had good experiences there. I did not have a bad experience there. Mind you, I didn't stick around to be challenging either. When I was told I've extended my stay, and I had enough respect, to leave in the wee hours of the morning, and it still followed.
I think with the U.S., there's so many in the United States, like you have the Queen Mary and you have like the typical big ones like Lizzie Borden, the Villisca Axe House. You have the Demon House. You have the Sally House, the museum, Ed and Lorraine Warren's museum. Then you have now Zach Bagans has a museum.
That one.
There's so many. You could just go to the battlefield at, oh my gosh, just lost it. The battlefield where everybody goes, Virginia.
Gettysburg. I love Gettysburg.
Huge activity there.
But you see, Gettysburg
there's a lot of places.
It's not abandoned, and it's regimented as to where you can go.
Abandoned is a tough one.
There's not a lot of places that you can't stay in Gettysburg, even around the outskirts. where it's not haunted.
Thank you, Wayne.
I've been a
Yeah.
couple of times and stayed in different places both times and really experienced some amazing things. Heck, there's also what's the name of that
Any
little town?
asylum too.
The
What, Lilydale?
asylums. I'm trying to think of this a town called Jim Thorpe, and the whole town is freaking haunted. And not even kidding. It's a little town which is crazy haunted. So that's one I highly recommend. I believe it's in Pennsylvania. So that's definitely one to go and check out.
Also, Old Colorado City is haunted. The whole town is
Oh
haunted.
God, there's all
Yeah.
kinds,
Yeah.
Vulture City. Yeah, you need to talk to, we had some friends on who actually do events there, Zach. And
The
I'm
Yates?
just trying to think. Jane Marie Yates.
Yeah, Yates. They're
I
on,
think they would
they're
have
on Instagram.
No, yeah. I think I'm just trying to think of if they've had, I think they may have had their event there already. They do it once a year at least, possibly twice. They've been on our show twice. You can find the audio archives on SoundCloud, and they do talk about Vulture City. So you would definitely have a
the
good time there, I'm
Rancho
sure,
Couture.
because it sounds like they put on a good gig.
Yeah, I believe you're right about they already done because they just had a bunch of pictures up after
Okay,
Halloween.
so it's already done for this year,
They're
but
on
hey,
Instagram.
next year.
You have to book ahead. They get busy.
Yeah.
So you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it.
They're great people. They're great people. They're definitely gonna
shows.
do it right, Oh, hey, Billy. So here's what I want to know from you guys, actually. What are your most terrifying experiences? And do you have any questions about those?
Yeah, it's funny
Oh,
because
light them up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
somebody asked me that in an interview, and every time I get asked that question, I have a different answer. I notice that, and I don't do a lot of interviews. I don't. I'm uncomfortable with them. That's all that it is. It's not that I don't want to do it, or I don't feel that I'm special enough to talk to for 2 hours. But I answer that question differently every time. I don't have, because there's so many of them. I don't really have one that it's like the one that that day that I feel or I remember, but there's so many of them. Growing up a medium, man, there's
what I want to
a
tackle.
lot.
There's a lot. Here's a good point that Tamara is making. It can affect your pets as well. Let me tell you something about pets and animals. People don't seem to think that their pets are affected, aside from the fact that they're natural little psychics and they can see everything and they behave as such. They cannot speak. Therefore, being living little beings that they are, they're very easy prime targets for attachments. We've seen it multiple times. And this is what, there are some researchers who will even bring pets and dogs, let's say, on investigations. So it's like, you know what? Please be aware that the animals can also get attachments, and they can't speak. They can't speak. Most of the times you'll never even know. I watched a cat, a family member's cat, completely go from night and day. Definitely caught an attachment. And whenever I guess the attachment was there, her eyes would go black and she became just like freaked right out. Like she was just an aggressive cat. She would attack. I remember catching her in midair one time and then just putting her down to the floor. And then all of a sudden I watched her eyes go back to normal. I was like, okay. It's really difficult. They can't communicate it to you. So please be careful with that.
It surprises me every time people are surprised by that, because if you watch The Omen, there's dogs. If you watch any of the episodes of Supernatural, there's dogs. So where do these hellhounds, like not just hellhounds, but where do these dogs come from? You have to think about that. There's a reason why it's written in the storyline. But yeah, I like what Bradley is saying. This is not Waverly Hills though, right? Because I have a photograph of Waverly Hills. Can't remember. I think that's in Kentucky though.
Fell down the old elevator shaft. Ooh, seen that one. Seen that scenario before. Yeah.
Crazy.
Alice,
my dad fell down an elevator shaft before I was born.
I've encountered a few spirits that have fallen down elevator shafts throughout my career of investigating. And this is another point I like to address. I didn't have any scary events, but they were interesting just the same.
Yes.
A good paranormal experience does not have to be a terrifying one. Nope. I don't know why people are so intent on, maybe it's the fear factor, the thrill of, of what's going on. I mean, I've had some amazing experiences also that weren't like frightening, Oh, here's another one. Lake Rosso or Rosso. My ex-in-laws had a big place in Port Carling on Lake Rosso, the Village Inn. I wonder if that's the old Windermere. It's an old Windermere house up there on Lake Rosso also is really, really active. Okay, we're just making our way down. We're just trying to give everybody... Yeah,
I love it.
Rosso. Okay, Rosso, because there's Rosseau. Lake Rosso is a huge lake up in Port Carling.
Yeah.
So that's interesting also. I've had a lot of terrifying experiences. Some I've shared here, others I haven't. The Black Mass dream I had when I was 8 is one that still haunts me to this day. Tell us about that dream. Yeah. If you can give us Rosso. Yeah, Rosso. They lived on Lake Rosso. It's a lot of celebrities. Martin Short had a place up there. We had Kurt and Goldie had a place up there.
I think they still do.
Yeah, it might still be a big behemoth of a place.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach, if you just want to maybe put some more information down, we'll bring it back up as we go. John's, I lived in a place where I saw shadow figures, orbs flying, the light when I was in bed, banging in the walls. Yeah, it's always delightful. My door was open in the middle of the night, fully locked, not kicked in, radio turned on, not plugged, no batteries. I didn't live there long. Yeah, I can see how that would be a little bit unnerving and disruptive. You guys helped with my bouncing ball situation.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my
After a while, it is, you know what? It's like some, it's not like they're all bad hauntings or bad, you have little spirits following you around. Well, I think where it gets unnerving is just like really personal. It's like aliens just showing up in your boudoir, your bedroom in the middle of the night going, just staring at you. It's like, buzz off. What's unnerving?
Have alien like pest removers.
I'm
not that Ghostbusters.
I'm
like,
used
they don't
to
have
that
alien
now,
busters.
but now it's just like when something else comes in, makes all kind of noise. I'm just thinking, oh, it's the alien again. So, okay, 1 second, Bradley. We will get to you. 1 second. Okay, I had a dream where I was in a field. Everything was dead. Oh my. Looked like something out of a nuclear apocalypse. Oh no! Joe will tell you that apocalyptic dreams is an abductee contactee thing.
I don't believe it, but whatever, Zach.
And seeing a black mass on the horizon.
I don't believe Joe. That black mass.
Bubbles is in denial.
No.
So it does sound like one of those typical abductee contactee dreams, though. Zach, the whole nuclear apocalypse thing. A lot of the people who have gone to him and told him stories, about their experiences. This seems to be a big one.
Yeah, I think Joe's
Wayne has had these too.
I'm kidding. But mine had falling whales,
Tyler.
Zombie whales from the sky. That's eating before going to bed.
For Bubbles. You keep telling yourself that.
No, it's eating before going to bed. Falling whales, zombie whales. Like, come on. That's like Sharknado. It's not funny. That's like, why'd you have that salami? Why'd you eat those $3?
I want to talk about it. Okay.
$3.
I had a great experience interacting with the spirit boy. I did everything I asked. Also got his voice saying I did a good job. Aw, that's cute.
They're not all bad experiences.
That is something to remember. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to... Nope, that was nothing. Okay, Tamara, we will get back to you also. It got closer to me. From the mass, I heard many voices, male, female, crying out for help. That's hard. I woke up and still hear the voices crying for help. It's the only thing I could do at the time. Aw, that is hard. I ran into my parents' room. The voice stopped when I
You were
closed
so
her door.
young. That's scary.
Yeah, that is really, it is really difficult. And I think when you're a child, especially, you hear, you're so open. Like a lot of
Mhm.
people will hear things in the middle of the night, or they'll hear voices thinking that, oh my God, I'm surrounded. A lot
Yeah.
of times you're just pretty gifted and you're hearing like dimensional sounds. You're not hearing like, you're just hearing things from the ether or another dimension. You're not actually hearing it in your space. Like it's
Those,
not in your physical space.
yeah, those make you feel like you're going insane.
Yeah, they
They're
sound like
the
old
most
radio
difficult.
shows and
Yeah.
announcers, and it's just a lot of chattering, and you can never understand 100% what everybody's saying. It's just everybody's like really, really busy, though.
I was waking up that way
Let's pick
after
up
my surgery
in the basement.
for
Oh,
months,
that's an
where
odd
it sounded like
experience.
I was waking up to a radio, but I didn't have a clock radio. I just had a regular alarm, but I would wake up to that noise all the time.
Right? Yeah, I know.
Hasn't happened in a long time.
No, it
It's
is annoying.
irritating.
I get it here too, and it's
Yeah.
just buzzy. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow, there's so many.
Tyler, I don't really do investigations very much anymore. My schedule just doesn't allow me the fun, I guess. But I do roughly like 5 or 6 radio shows a week. I consult on a lot of different things, and I work with people remotely with Amelia, but also just talking with people. I deal with a lot of emails and messages in a day of just advising and working with people that way also. So I won't say gone are the days, but let's just say on hold
It's a
are the
different time right
days.
now. Yeah. It's just a
Yeah.
different time right now.
Well, that too, right? So
Yeah.
it's just a little bit of everything. Bradley did an investigation at an old theater, caught an EVP of a dog running up the walkway and barking. Very cool. So here's a question then. Do you think that the dog was actually still there? Do you think it was like residual?
That's what I was thinking too. The
Yeah.
residual thing. They showed a clip of some sort of dog on the Osbournes Want to Believe yesterday.
Yeah.
And
I know I've seen that one.
you've
That's
seen it,
a
right? Where it's
phenomenal
just
clip. Yeah.
sniffing,
Trotting
and
along.
there's
Yeah.
a cat walking by, and cat
Yeah.
doesn't even catch on, so you know that it's not there. But and then it just fades off, and you know it's not. And I love how he was explaining to his father how you can't have double exposure on digital because he's 72. 72, Ozzy's 72. My gosh.
Yeah.
I feel old. But yeah, like I was just so surprised at it was nice to see somebody explain double exposure in digital on
Yeah.
a program on television. That's what I love about Jack. He's so forthcoming and honest, and he very much is a skeptic to a certain point.
He is. I don't think no more than Sharon. She's hardcore.
She is so funny.
Okay, these people have a big crazy house in England.
Yeah.
Everything in England is haunted.
Well, they grew up in a haunted house, right? That's how they started.
It's sort of like, what?
He and
What do
Kelly.
you mean? You're giving it a 1.
But I love Sharon. Any story from Ireland is haunted because it's from Ireland, because that's her background. So it's haunted. It's from Ireland.
Right.
I love that woman. That woman is a freaking warrior. Just saying.
Right. No, I love it. I think it's great. Okay, Tyler.
Ooh.
Yeah, that sounds great. I know that Carolyn sends over stuff to be taken care of behind the scenes. So it's partaking in a different way, I guess.
Tamara has a good point too.
Here we go.
As well.
When you get tastes and smells from the ether, I'm guessing is something that sometimes comes with sounds and talking.
Yeah.
This is very true as well.
That's
I
what we
really
call the
enjoyed,
5 sisters.
The spirit. Oh, thank you. It's like when I spoke in French to that French spirit. Me too, because I don't do that very often.
No.
It was a lot of fun. Bradley, same theater, sitting on the stage. We all heard the voice say Marco, female voice, and we said Polo.
I was just going to say Polo.
Yeah.
hate that
The
game.
dog, the REM pod went off at the same time. Okay, so that's not so much
Is
residual then.
Are REM pods the new toy in? I don't want to call it a toy, but a tool in investigation. Is that the new thing, or is it the assault art? I don't know anything about these because I'm my own instrument.
Right. I'm my own instrument.
I'm my own tool. That
and I
didn't
don't
sound
blink
right either.
and I don't do any little bleepy
No, I
sounds.
don't blink. I do make a lot of squeaky sounds, but I don't
Yes,
blink.
you do. Yes, you
I
do.
squeak.
I will
do
vouch for the little squeaky sounds.
I startle easily. So yeah, I do like, but
The music box is a new one. Actually, I'll tell you what, I've used music boxes going back. I remember using them a few times at one specific location where the spirit children loved music boxes. And it got to a point where the father within that home he'd come to my house, and kept going on about a music box, and I wasn't making the reference. So I remember calling the owner of that location saying, "What's with the music box?" And she goes, "Oh my God." She goes, "My daughters here had a music box, but it was like a summer house." It was when we closed it up, we took everything back to the normal house. So I went and bought a big carousel, horse carousel, a music box, and brought it back, and it would sit on the mantle. And apparently the spirit children would just play with it. It would just go off. So it definitely is. It's a good thing. Music is great.
I love that. And music boxes to me always bring a sense of Victorian era.
Yeah, Bradley
for
says,
me.
I love them. I'm building them. Works wonderful. Now that's fantastic.
Nice.
It's definitely it's a good and simple tool.
I love that. I think it's so soothing and comforting for them, right?
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
wonderful, because that's really important when you're going and investigating is being comforting, especially if there's children's spirits there.
You just have to learn who these people were if you can, learn the history and sort of try to piece together. It's little things like that, but it makes them easy for them to use.
Yeah, because a lot of people bring dolls and balls or a tricycle, but a music box, Bradley, that is beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I love that.
Ingy, someone close to me passed away and he materialized, and I thought he would talk to me, but he couldn't talk and I was frustrated. He got up and started to dematerialize and was gone. I started to cry because he was giving me a message telepathically. Yeah, that's a really emotional moment, if you can get them to do that, or if you can, have the ability to understand that. Unfortunately, I find that it's nice if you can connect with loved ones. In the grieving process, it can be really difficult, and not trying to be the harbinger of doom here, but just seen a lot of people get themselves into a lot of trouble because they so desperately want a sign from their loved one, and instead they end up with a mimic or just, bad things trying to come in and take advantage. So always have to be careful with that.
Especially when it's a child.
Well,
like when you've lost a child, I find that I've dealt with so many grieving parents. I've never seen anything like that, and pray to God I never have to experience it. And the desperation, the anguish, the pain is so overwhelming. You can't think straight from what I've, understand and see working with them. But it's always my greatest fear of what they're going to bring across.
I can't imagine it, and I hope I never have to.
No, I pray you don't.
As a parent, when I work with children, and you're very welcome, Ingy. When I work with children, in really horrific situations, I mean, there was one home where the baby was being thrown out of the crib. A baby was being thrown out of the crib almost every night. Okay, that is really, really difficult. Oh yeah, got a lot of moving around.
I just heard the click click.
Did you hear the crack? Also, the big crack that just came right beside me.
Yeah.
Welcome to the manor. Anyway, Wait, are you watching that freaking Exorcist movie again? Dang
And he's in
it.
the chat room with us, thank God. You better not have it on in the background.
Again, did you catch it again?
Yep, I'm hearing
Big
it right
crack.
through. It's picking
That's
up on
two.
my microphone. You get 3, we're gonna have to shut down the show and clear that house. I'm just saying. So better not get 3 because we're gonna have to close this. Yeah, see, Tamara heard it too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's funny how many people will message me and say, you know, I was listening to the show and I heard something or saw something.
They will hear. You're giving me goosebumps upstairs. They will hear things better than we can because of technology and being on the other side of it.
Or maybe, you know, they'll catch EVPs, they'll catch sounds. The house is haunted.
Yeah.
So you never really know. People are like, oh, I saw something move behind you. Like, probably.
All beautiful things, though, except for that creepy damn ass
The creepy what?
today.
The what?
The creepy damn shadow today. But other than that, it's usually friendly there.
I have heard voices when you do the show. Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Feel free to just clue us in on what you're listening to, Tamara.
Just let us know.
Because I'm talking and I don't hear. I'm hearing like Amelia, right? My ears are plugged. So it's just like, you know, I'm talking and I don't always catch it. But, you know, people will listen to the archives just to see if they can catch something.
Flashes of lights are always great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Great. One thing not too many do is when using the Boo Bear on investigation. I've heard of that. Then when you're done, you take it away. It's not nice for the possibilities of spirit children to have that feel of a toy. 100% taking it away. You don't take things away.
You have to leave them there.
You bring a gift and you leave it.
It's like an offering. When you offer fruit or tobacco, you don't take it back with you.
No, they're still children. Just
but
children without bodies, they're still children. You don't take that away from them. It's terrible.
That's terrible.
You know,
you create more anguish, and if there's anything holding it back, it's got more to feed off of. You gotta be careful when you do stuff like that.
But here's you know, we've talked about this before, and I know we always have new listeners, so I'd like to just, you know, I'm not trying to be a harpy, but what about, you know, grounded spirits and children? Because I've had researchers say, oh, you know, like, we've investigated and there's children here, and, you know, and then then something will attach, which leads me to think maybe it wasn't a child, maybe it was something darker mimicking a child. But then I'm thinking, okay, so now you want to be cleared, but you left that dang little child there.
Yeah,
I'd at least like to go in and have a look to see if it was indeed a child or was it something more malevolent.
Absolutely.
When do you get to the point where you say, well, the investigation is important depending on what it is you're trying to look for if you're working with a family. But if you're just going to gather up evidence, right, I don't know, do morals kick in someplace and just say, you know what, it's not right to leave this child, especially if you're a parent. I couldn't leave a child there if I knew it was a child. If it's a mimic, then it boot its ass out anyway. But
it's almost like the politics of the paranormal. It's so hard because our beliefs are different than some, and you have to be careful. It's just so hard. I could never, and you know I can't. There's no way. I will go back into a fire to get a child. There's no way I would leave a child, and I would want someone to do that for my child.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to think about it. It reminds me of a time where I had a mom, like a female, come to me and said, you know, I want to talk to you because her daughter had died on the property tragically. She was only like 13. And I went and spoke with her, and they wanted to make sure she was in the house. I'm like, usually you think it'd be the other way around. I want to make sure that, you know, she's moved on. And I want to make sure she's in the house. She was so attached to her child. She didn't want to think of her being away from her. And I understand. It is. I understand. You know, the young girl had only been gone for about, you know, like maybe 6 to 8 months, you know, and I'm trying to make this person understand, like, what happens when you're gone? What happens to the spirit? who's stuck here, but you get to go on. Well, I'll just stay behind with her. But you could see her on the other side, or wherever it is we go into the great beyond. Like you can still do that, but without all the hang-ups. Like why would you want to make this her existence?
I think it's a fear of loss the second time. I don't believe that anybody in their right mind
that was
wants that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think to myself, it is really, I haven't lost a child, so I can't grasp it. I just know what I think it would feel like, which would be horrific. In the end, about 2 years later, I had spent like 2 or 3 hours with this family explaining different things that could be done. And basically this family finally, they let everything go. They sold everything. Now, this was a situation where even the cars, the last car that the young girl had been in, because it had her scent, it was locked up. It sat. It was never used again. Like there were just things that were just left untouched. There goes the lights. A second breaker. It's a little separate breaker than everything else, and it's going. Anyway, finally, I guess they just one day went, no, it's enough now. And everything stopped, and they sold everything, because I had said right off the bat that she's not here the way you think she is. She's not stuck here. I couldn't have left her that way. I couldn't have left that house.
Well, you never know if that's even her.
Yeah, they can come back and visit once they go to spirit.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I think that's the problem. The not being aware of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see, it's like Bradley says, you move them on, especially when you get an EVP saying, "Where's my mom?" Exactly.
And
do you know
some moms will love and cherish those EVPs and continue talking to them, not realizing how much harm they're doing.
Don't get me started about EVPs and really bad things that happen with them. I've spoken about this before with voice recordings and helping people who have brought things in because of voice recordings. And it comes back to, so desperately wanting to communicate with your loved one. I always go back to the woman with her husband that I've spoken about before, and getting terrible messages left on the answering machine. And I mean, growling, and, she goes, I need to know if that's my husband. Like, did your husband like you? He's calling you some pretty foul things right now. This is your husband.
That's definitely desperation, and desperation causes us to not think clearly. So that's why you need someone like Michelle to help you through that. I had to take off my glasses for a second just because I need a break from. Yeah. I can't see what he wrote.
Bradley, I know the feeling. I lost my daughter. I would want. I'm sorry, Bradley. I would want her sticking around with family on the other side. Exactly.
And she can still come and visit you once she's ascended.
Just no earthly hangups, no baggage.
That's the rumor we need to spread, not the negative stuff, but get the news out there that once they've crossed, they can come back freely without anything. And can you imagine, you would move heaven and earth not for them not to have an attachment in the physical world? What do you think you should do when it's in the spirit world? So it's the same thing. You need to move heaven and earth and make sure they're safe. They can be tormented on that side as well.
They can, I remember being at a location where on the voice recordings, or even with your.
Oh, what the hell was that?
Honey, I'm home.
Busy day.
I'm just sitting like, don't touch anything because I want to make sure I'm not doing it.
It's a busy day for that house, man. Wow.
Sure is.
Yeah, you might want to put that show on hold for a little bit. And
I don't think anybody's watching it
tomorrow. No, I mean, don't go to it till we've worked on it tomorrow.
I think, when it comes to things attaching to spirits, it is really difficult when you're dealing, like this one location I worked in was very well known for having very malevolent entities of sort in it. And there was a spirit family in there. And
Mhm.
it's believed that these entities were responsible for the deaths of this family. Like pushing down the stairs was the big one. One got pushed off a widow's walk, the mom. There's a lot with it, but you would hear the children saying, "Run, run, it's coming, it's coming." Like they were spending their existence since the 1800s, okay, hiding
Wow.
from these beings. Like that is frightening when you
That's
think about
just
it. Would you want that for your loved ones and their
not
afterlife?
even for a second.
You hear clicking.
Yeah, it's pretty
I'm keeping
loud.
my
It's
hands
pretty
like this
obvious.
just so you can
It's
see. I'm
pretty
not doing
obvious and loud right now.
it. I'm just
Yeah.
kind of like, well, are you getting some too? Or is it me?
Okay.
I think Amelia and I are going to have to do a couple of clearings after the show.
Yeah, her house only. Not on this side.
Oh, nonsense shenanigans. So I have clicking. Yeah. An invitation to the unknown. Yeah, I get that too. So I don't
We
know.
make them daily, unfortunately, but yeah, it's about knowing
Sage.
and
Yeah, once in
see,
a while.
I hate the smell of sage,
I
so it
love
doesn't work for me.
sage and
I know, and so
patchouli
does
and
so does John, and I smell it, and I'm like, oh, it smells
I
like
know.
pot. It just,
But
it makes me sick.
it comes down to this also when you're dealing with, sage and clearings and stuff like that. You can't just go through the motion of it. You have to really believe in the
Oh,
power behind it.
yeah,
And cedar, I love cedar also.
yes,
Um,
cedar, I
it's
do
it's
love.
more. It tends to be more potent than sage. Actually, a lot of people don't realize that.
I love
But
Palo Santo. That's my go-to.
yeah,
Yeah,
I know I love that one too. It's
yeah.
nice. But you have to put some power behind the words you're using. Believe in those words,
There's a technique to it.
enforce it. There
Yeah.
is a
And
technique to it.
everybody, I think the problem, and Michelle explained to you the technique because I don't want to get it wrong, but I've done it a few times. But I think the problem with the saging is, again, television. They see
Hmm.
this and they think that's it. It's like, no, no, no. You don't live in Teresa Caputo's house. You're just seeing this. You don't see what goes on behind the scenes because they can't make the whole show about her cleansing her house between clients.
No, you can't.
So there's a
You
whole
can't.
process to it, and you have to do it the right way, or you could be trapping this stuff in.
And a lot of it has to do with the energy of the person and the energy of the
Yeah.
house.
I'm a firm believer in sage. You have to stay on top of it. And so are blessings.
Not a one-shot deal.
No,
There is a
and
huge process to it
people,
for it to be effective. That
yeah.
is,
I laugh because I grew up Roman Catholic, and that's not why I laugh, but I laugh at my friends who believe that having the house blessed that one time when they moved in like 30 years ago, we're good. No, no, we're not. Because a lot of energy has come in and out of this.
A lot can happen in 30 years.
A lot can happen in 30 days.
A lot of people come through those doors too, and you don't know what they've been up to.
Exactly. So there's a lot that you have to research about that before you look into which procedure is the best for you to cleanse.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Bradley, what I would do, yeah, I don't like, I feel terrible for you for this one too. What I would do to give my sister that was murdered in Nova Scotia, that was the mass murder that happened a couple years ago, everyone, one more hug. I know she's watching over me. One day I will. I guess other than my personal experiences I had growing up, to help folks and maybe give them some peace to the spirits of the folks to which the places they reside. Yeah, I agree. If anything, that's a legacy for sure.
Being robbed like that is so painful.
It is. It really is.
Painful.
There's life is very fragile, and I think it's so easy to throw caution to the wind. It's so easy not to believe. It's so easy to be cruel to one another, and that stuff follows you. It really does. It follows you. So, hey, Kathy, when I would say for every action, there's a reaction. So if you're going to turn around and bark out at somebody, chances are you're going to
bounces
have that
back.
come back at you fairly quick. Especially if it's within your own space. If you're sitting there arguing with somebody, for example, and you leave the room, you come back in that room an extra couple of hours later, don't be surprised if you start feeling foul and your own energy starts you start absorbing your own nasty butt energy. it doesn't just go away. Now,
No, it
that's one thing
starts
what
with
I
you.
do like about certain incenses, which doesn't take any technique at all. It just dispels the negative energy from the day. If I am having a crazy day, I love to sit and burn sage or dragon's blood. But I love patchouli. I love that one too. Like I just love to cleanse that energy. Just let it, burn some sage candles, whatever it is
Or
that
even
you like.
the little the ones that I
The
use, those
cones.
little incense. I don't use cones; they're chunks.
Well, yeah,
And
resin. I like
burn
the
it.
resin.
Yes, and I burn
Yeah,
it
high
in here. Now you
Christine.
don't need to get one. You don't
Mm-mm.
need to get what I have. This is a Catholic one when they burn the incense and you put
Mhm.
charcoal in there, you light it.
That's right. You put
And then
resin
you
on
put
it.
the resin in
That's
there
right.
and it just
That's
smokes
right.
up the whole house. And that's what I prefer to use
Mhm.
because then I can move it around the
Mhm.
house. But like I said,
Mhm.
I've tried the sage thing and I just can't. I just die.
Some people prefer oil. You can anoint your candles with oil. So if you don't
Yes.
like the smoke coming up, get some oil or get a spray.
I put holy
You know,
water on my candles.
Vacuuming is a form of cleansing. It is.
The house.
Yeah.
Well, we're not on Ghostbusters.
No, it is. I completely, I completely agree with you on that. Yeah.
I think of Ghostbusters when Tamara said that. I think of because didn't he use some form of a vacuum when he was the first one?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm,
I love that.
I know.
Who are you gonna call? Hoover.
Nothing wrong with subtle rituals when they're performed with. Here, let me just bring this up so everybody can see it. Nothing wrong with subtle rituals when they are performed with spiritual integrity. 100%. 100%.
Absolutely agree with you.
Vibrational energy. Yes. 100%. Or just do it Brad's way. Just tell him to get the hell out. There we go.
That's what I've always done.
Yeah.
For a long time, I did that.
Like,
and I did the whole because of the movies I watched because I didn't have anyone in my life who was gifted to learn, and there wasn't internet at the time. I'm aging myself.
Right.
There was an internet. There's so many positives to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I used to say in the name of Jesus, but just like The Exorcist, with a little bit of Jersey attitude, even though I'm from Toronto. Throw salt at them. Salt cleanses everything.
It's true.
Everything. Salt cleanses the sea. Salt gives life to everything.
Just remember
salt tastes
that
great
you
on
do
chocolate.
have control. You do have control. I think we're getting into that time of year where people who might suffer from depression or PTSD or anxiety, it amps up this time of year without a doubt. I mean, the days are shorter, they're colder, less sunlight, and you can't, not like you can just, well, for many people, not all, because there are different parts of the world, we have listeners from all over the world where you can go and ground your energy. Some parts of the world you can't just go ground your energy by taking a walk outside in the grass.
That's you want frostbite.
You can go hug a tree, but you have to try and find a way to raise your vibrations. I'd say just by go on YouTube and find some vibrational frequencies that you can work with. Pick some music that you like that's got frequency playing, alternative frequencies and vibrations playing in the background. It really does amazing things to your mindset.
Yeah. If you're a water sign, baths, running water, and showers really, really work.
Mm-hmm.
I know with me, it makes a big difference with the shower. I'm not a bath person, but with a shower, just running that water on me, that hot water, and even my hands just under the faucet, I feel a sense of like a release. So if you're a water sign, try that.
control of your reaction is the ultimate control. 100%, because it's the only thing you can control. You can't control what other people say. Okay. You can't control what other people do. And you shouldn't have expectations of how you feel somebody should speak to you or react to you. Or people aren't mind readers. People are busy. They go about their own lives. They got their own hangups. But you can't control your reaction to the silliness, as I call it, or don't have expectations and you won't be disappointed.
Change the phrase. That's what I started doing. Instead of saying I didn't expect that, instead of saying I didn't expect that, I say I didn't see that coming. It's a little bit different. So it changes your mindset just by changing those few words. I didn't see that coming.
Exactly. There you go.
I try. Yeah. Because I'm terrible because I'm a certain way. I have expectations of people around me, and you shouldn't, because they're not you, and you don't know how they're reacting or if they even notice that something's off. So you can't really
don't have expectations, and you won't be disappointed.
It's hard. It's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah, it's difficult. I get it. But
I've never surrounded myself with a whole lot of people. So I'm very particular about who is within my circle and who is even within my communication circle. I don't allow a lot of people in because it's just a lot of convoluted energy that I don't want to be responsible for, much. And I'm not trying to be cruel, people, but I got a lot of stuff going on in my life that I need, my family is most important, right? I thank them for showing me their colors level, testing the communication skills. Yep.
Thank you for the experience.
Exactly.
Thank you for the experience. That's Oprah said that.
Exactly.
Thank you for the experience, no matter how bad.
Look after yourself before going to any location. Tell them they need to stay before you leave. Well, say what you mean what you say, follow through, because sometimes you can tell them till the cows come home, you're staying. If there's something about you they really like, they might just find a way. The only thing, Kat, you are wise to expect is a miracle. Just getting up and
every
breathing
day
is a miracle. Yeah, it's like, I made it another day.
Opening your eyes is a miracle. Age is denied to many, and I think we need to be reminded of that. Because I hate what I'm seeing in the world today with the young 30-year-olds with the Botox and all that pressure. Nothing is real. So age is denied to many. Be grateful for everything. A lot of people read the law of attraction incorrectly, in my opinion. It takes a lot of time to practice it. It's a daily effort. It's an hourly effort. And you have to remind yourself that you're already there. Anytime you're in need, you will not attract anything. It's only at the point where you are fulfilled and feel, I have it all. I have everything that I need. I have everything that is important to me. You need to think in a different manner, and it changes everything. And it's not always what you think it is, because a lot of people, they want to manifest money and this and that. And that doesn't bring great happiness all the time. Sometimes it brings despair. And
yes, you attract what you put out.
Absolutely. That's why you have to be happy and content and always grateful for everything in your life. Hi, Michael. Yeah, for everything in your life right now at this moment, even when it's really hard and really.
There are no coincidences. Remember that. So you really are in control of pretty much every aspect of your life. And I'm not saying no, you don't have any control if you lose your job, things like that. I'm talking about things that are within your confines, your space. Yeah. You are the one in control as to what what you're going to tolerate. Just because someone dishes it out doesn't mean you have to tolerate it. Over time, this energy compounds onto itself. And before you know it, I can't tell you how many people I have worked with who have had so much stress, and some of it's very self-inflicting. And the next thing you know, they're projecting energy, complete psychokinesis, things going on in the house, crazy. Yeah. And it's like, I can't understand it. And it's like, oh, you need to ground. You need to ground that
Grounding is
energy. You're a live
so
wire.
important. And grounding doesn't take that long. Everybody thinks it's this long process like meditation, and it doesn't take that long.
Right. Being comfortable in your own skin changes what you attract. 100% on
Oh
that
my
one.
gosh, yeah. That's the
Welcome
biggest
synchronicities.
battle for people, right?
100% on that also.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest battles, especially anybody who has self image issues or eating disorders and things like that. It's a more difficult process to get there. It's a journey, and that's why we're here, right? It's a journey.
Everything is visual. You're just looking at television, media, whatever you see in print, magazine. I think there's an impression of what the perfect life is supposed to be, and that's not the case. The perfect everything is within you. Your journey, and I post stuff like this all the time. Your journey is not necessarily meant for everyone else. You're going to find people coming in and out of your life, people you never would have expected to just drop out of your life.
Yeah.
But they're not meant to be. They're part of your journey ended. They're not meant to follow. It's not their time. So, yeah, you could be upset about it. I would be more hurt about it and say, "Oh, it's sad," because their part of it is done. They've
the end. Yeah.
It is. They've done their part in your journey. So now you move on, and those people. And I hate to, again, I don't like to use the word replace because people are not replaceable per se.
I know.
But, as far as their presence, but you will meet other people who will come in with a new perception, a new gifts. They're a gift, whether it's a good situation, a bad situation, whether you fancy it or you don't. It's a gift because you're going to learn from it, or hopefully you're going to learn from it.
I think a lot of times we're attached to
Christmas cookies.
We're attached to the idea of the relationship rather than the person. And when we start to look back 2020, we realize, you know what? I did learn a lot. I did get a lot. I had a 10-year friendship that ended abruptly. And I have been around this person and not even spoken to them just recently in the same room. I can still do that without feeling guilty or feeling bad. But I can remember the good times we had in those 10 years as well. I know we had a lot of fun. That's what you hold
on to and say, absolutely. I wish you well on your journey.
We can't continue this together because we think different
We're
ways.
done.
And a lot of it is because of what I do. But anyways, that doesn't matter. But it taught me that I will not take that or accept that from anyone. And that I am who I am. And I think a lot of people learn this lesson when people drop out of their lives, that you're worthy of moving on and to better things. Being worthy.
I agree. Yeah. Hello, Amy. Michael says a perfect life includes Christmas cookies. I agree.
Michael. What are you baking me? Michael's a host on our network. He was on just before us with the Red Pill News.
The Red Pill News.
We have to have Michael on.
We should.
Yeah.
Maybe Michael should come and join us on, let's say, next week on the 22nd.
Next week isn't the 22nd.
No, it's a week after. Sorry.
Amelia
and I are back on.
Please don't rush it.
Amelia and I are back on.
Yeah, let's not
Michael,
rush.
Just let me know. Zach, man, I learned the lesson again with the recent passing of my friend and business partner. Sorry for your loss on
Zach,
that.
I'm so sorry.
Tamara says sometimes change path, they cannot go there 100%. Patricia, you're always given what you need at the time, not necessarily what you want. That's a big one, right?
That's what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I just went on and on and on because I'm a squirrel, but thank you.
My journey is going back to Saskatchewan. Oh, wow. I love out east. I have to say, I love it out east more than.
So do I.
Yeah. But yeah, well, you've got to follow your heart. That's for sure. Because your
a lot of people
experiences make us who we are.
Saskatchewan.
Amy Lynn says, I just finished baking shortbread. Oh, shortbread.
Shortbread.
My butt just says, don't eat the shortbread.
No, mine as well. Mine
I
is
know, I
like
love
butter
shortbread.
is your enemy.
She's in Alberta. Yeah, Wes is nice also.
You need to enjoy the cookies during the season. I think it's really important. If my oven was freaking working, believe me, Michelle would have had a FedEx delivery by now with tons of cookies. But unfortunately, my oven's not working, and making 800 cookies in a toaster oven is just not my thing. But
oh my gosh,
when my new oven comes in, Michelle's in for a load, man.
Yeah, about
Poor
that.
Michelle.
Yeah. I know.
Her favorite dessert is cheesecake, and I finally perfected it. So I just can't wait. But I'm just waiting for the damn oven. They're building my freaking oven. I think they're melting the steel right now because it won't be in until June or July. Yay me.
Yeah, good times. Good times. Okay, we need to do a station ID.
Yes.
It's that time before
and
we
the perfect thing to go
on.
with cookies is coffee, and it's Folgers coffee. You're listening to The Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and myself, Amelia Pisano, and this is your show. This is a Q&A tonight with the guests. Our guests are you in the chat room and listening to us right now. We're broadcasting live from the beautiful city of New Orleans on 105.3 FM radio. We are streaming on UFO Paranormal Radio and International Public Radio. I never remember the two, but I'm pretty sure those two are right. Our intro and outros, courtesy of the amazing award-winning composer, Dr. Snick, the Sonic Surgeon. You can find Justin Snicker on Bandcamp and Amazon, and you can also find him on Facebook and Instagram as well, where you can find the link in his bio to purchase his music. His music is phenomenal, as you can tell. And that is also his voice that you hear. So make sure you stay tuned all the way to the very end to hear that outro. It's phenomenal. Our sponsors tonight, and since the beginning of time, Folgers Coffee. Great with those Christmas cookies, just saying. Yes. Thank you, Folgers. We love you. No one loves you more than Michelle and I, and that includes Joe. It's Michelle and I.
That's right, Joe.
That's right, Joe.
So there, Joe.
So what, Joe?
I know. So, okay. So now we're going to ask you guys a question. So we've talked about experiences. Are there haunted places? Oh, Kathy, hello from Wasaga Beach.
I love Wasaga. I grew up.
Yes, it is. Freshwater Beach. Been there. Yes. Love it.
I have too many memories from Wasaga. I'm just going to say that and leave it there.
When are you coming back to Toronto? Well, Toronto, it's easy to do. I guess
that's an easy one.
Yeah. I mean, Toronto, I'm not in Toronto as much because I'm not filming right now. So I used to film a lot in Toronto. That's where everything is. Well, thanks, Kathy. I might take you up on that. But you know, if there's something that's going on, I could definitely do it. But right now, not filming, not doing events, just behaving myself.
Have to see what happens in the spring. Everything's closed down there as well right now.
I was supposed to be filming tomorrow night. Actually, I was asked to film tomorrow night. But just, you know, realistically, I don't have the time for it. And it was very short notice, but it was at a location that I used to work at all the time. For those of you who know me, will know that location is, and I can't just say it right now. And it would have been really fun to go back to it. But I'm anxious to see what I'm anxious to see what they do to, you know, what they find there. I still have to let them know where all the hot spots are so they can do that. So that should be a lot of fun. Yeah. So,
cool.
You know, but here's something I'll put out there just to be of assistance. I've been asked to consult and give, you know, some stories for a new show that's coming out, which sounds a lot like Haunted Collector, but in Canada. So if anybody's got haunted items that they would like to have investigated, drop me a line.
So cool.
outerrealmcontact@gmail.com, theouterrealmcontact@gmail.com, because this is where you heard it. And I will connect you all up.
That is so cool. I would love to see that.
There we go. So
yeah, start going through all that stuff, Bradley.
I know, right?
Out east, come on. You've got to have a house full of
just
it.
set up some guest rooms. Thank you. It's a party. I'll bring the wine.
Aw.
Patricia, met you at Castle a couple times. Yeah, I worked. I had that location for 5 years, so that was a great place.
Yeah.
Great place. Michelle needs to send. Oh, come on now. Why? I don't understand why anybody doesn't want a picture of me. I just don't get it. Here, take one right now. Just take a screenshot.
I
don't know.
Do you want her in a Santa hat? Because this woman doesn't even put up a tree. Like, do you want her in a Santa hat? I can crochet her a really cool Santa hat.
I can send you my house. Is it haunted? But yeah, I have so many people that ask me for
Christmas
an autograph picture.
Oh wow!
Send us all autograph. I
would actually stay on top of her for that. That didn't sound right.
I just get a lot of
I will continue to remind her. I'm not going to stay on top of her for any.
Yeah, what she said. I do get asked about it a lot, and I'm not trying to be like an a-hole about it. I'm not trying to just like, I'm too good. I'm not sending any pictures. I'm funny about it because I'm just me. So for me to just send you a picture and sign it, like I've had people come up to me with books to things I've contributed to and say, "Can you just sign this?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I sign it.
Asked me to sign it.
I know, but it's just like,
wait a minute.
It's just Jack sent me one. Okay, good for Jack. Jack Ken is a good friend of mine. So I'm just. Yeah, I know. Jack's
have to call
Jack's much kinder than I am, I guess. So I don't need one. Thank you, Zachman.
Oh,
there we go.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it's not like I'm weird about it. I guess I am a little bit weird about it, just because I don't know.
Maybe we can do one on the Facebook
too,
page of you, and they could just print it at home.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's just, it does feel weird to me. So did Patty, and I agree. Well, Patty's also much kinder than I am. So thank you, Kathy. You see, there's somebody who gets me right there. Yes, here's what it says, people. Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah, she is very humble. It's really awkward. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I guess I don't understand why somebody would actually want a picture of me, let alone a signed one. But you know what?
You didn't sign mine.
If I see you at the beginning of next year, sometime, and somebody wants to take one of us and, have her bring a Polaroid.
There you go. She'll sign the back for you.
Yeah, we can do that.
They're really cool. They're making a comeback in paranormal.
They are, apparently. Yeah,
they're making a comeback in paranormal, and I love that because you still have that, that feeling of film with the instant of a digital. So,
but you can't fudge it. That's a great thing about the Polaroid camera. I used to use them on investigations. You can't fudge them. It is pretty much the negative is right in there, and you can't mess with it.
They're used at crime scenes as well. They're fantastic cameras.
Yeah,
they pick up everything.
Right. No, they're great.
We're living in a digital age because everything we need or we think we need is on our cell phone. Let's reiterate that. Think we need
nowadays. Yeah.
Think about back when your kids were little. You didn't take a camera with you unless you were going to see Santa or you were going to see some treehouse show at the mall or you think about that. And then now no one can make it through a meal without a photograph.
I know it's true. I know.
Yeah. But it's okay.
I've had lunch with an individual who's just taken pictures and posted it and goes, "Yes, I was with this person." I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'd watch out for the record button with that person. But anyways,
just kind of like, yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, you actually get the video or audio taped. I'm just like,
Oh, it's
Gets
funny
up,
because
goes to the bathroom. Like, I know what you're doing.
our,
You're a weirdo.
our
So,
can you
don't feel
imagine
bad about that.
if we recorded our first? Now I feel bad for posting my keto meals.
Keto meals.
No, because you
don't
have to
feel bad
stay.
about that.
You have to remember because I have done keto. I did keto last year, and it was for a health issue, and you do drop the weight really fast. But what you have to remember, Zach, is it comes back just as quick. So you have to be really careful. Posting pictures of keto meals for other people on keto is the best way you can support each other because it's not an easy thing to stay on, especially if you're doing it to a T, because that is a lot of work. It's not just about eating bacon, just saying.
Is that a chair in the background? Right there.
I think she's referring to your cathedral.
Oh, the one I'm sitting on? Or are you looking
or the
at
cathedral behind
my
you?
Curo, the antique one? Yeah, both chairs. Yep. Yes, it's very old.
I think it's the cathedral frame behind you. A lot of people think that's a chair, but you're not sitting on it. It's actually behind her because the way it's on the camera, it looks like you're on it. Now, can you see she's sitting on a throne? That's not just a chair.
It's one of the small ones.
It's a small throne. I know. She got rid of my favorite one.
Yeah, I actually have sold 3, but I ended up with another 11 when I bought out the
I would have bought that. I would have bought that leopard one in a heartbeat.
I know. And you know who bought it was just very nice Jewish man who had a house that was all white and his wife, everything was white. And he came in with this leopard throne.
I can't live like that. I can't live in white or gray.
His wife just looked at him. He goes, I'm going to be the king at the head of my table with this chair. And she just looked at him like,
he is. That was a brilliant idea to put that throne at the head of his table. See, that throne would look great at the head of my kitchen table. Just saying. That leopard one.
I only have a red one left.
No, I mean the leopard one. And then I bought
a really, really old one. But you should see the blue one I have.
Oh, the blue is regal.
We've got the reds that we're keeping. And then I have 4 without arms, people. If anybody was looking for some really nice hand-carved oak chairs that are antique that were made at the Kingston Penitentiary. Oh, and I got a boatload of sofas too.
You're right, Zach. He may have the chair, but ultimately his wife is the boss. Damn straight.
Making up your past life. You are 100% right. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Any new pieces? Any new pieces?
Every week.
I always have new pieces. Yeah.
Follow her on Instagram.
Go on Instagram. You'll see some of this, the church pieces that have been converted here into the house. This chair,
you guys can follow us on Instagram. We follow back. We just don't have the Outer Realm anymore because our audience is mostly Facebook.
I have the chair, but ultimately, his
wife
is the boss. I think
I said
so.
Damn straight.
What has been the most what has been the most active haunted location you've been to? Haunted forest in Romania. Definitely active, and crazy stuff. But you could catch that story, I think, on one of our Q&As here that we did. I do a lot of interviews. A lot of people ask me about that. If you watch one of the episodes of Haunted Case Files in season 2, and then there was also Hotel Paranormal, they covered the other, like what happened after the experience at the after the haunted forest part, when everything went down at the hotel and followed afterwards. So there's 2 segments about that.
I saw the first part, not the second part. I'm going to try and see if I can find it online.
Followed you home with the old stuff you've cut. I don't think so. I'm pretty good at figuring out if there's stuff attached. And to be honest, it doesn't really faze me. It doesn't matter to me a whole lot. If I really want the item, we're going to have a tug of war for it.
You're talking about a woman who's got 6 human skulls in her house.
5.
Okay. That makes
one of them came to me as a haunted object, though.
Yes.
And
but I'm saying you weren't concerned.
He was fine with me. He just didn't like where he was before.
Well,
So
yeah. Well, if you throw a hat over him.
I had a helmet on him. He didn't like that. Here he
Yeah.
sat with my like Lord of the Rings baseball cap on the desk beside me while I work. Now he's in a showcase,
Yep.
along with the other ones. The oldest one I have is like over 600 years old.
That is insanity.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing though. I have a lot of stuff that gets offered to me. It doesn't mean like I'd have all kinds more, but if it doesn't, it somehow has to call to me, it really does. And then I have like a yak, I think it's like a yak, Tibetan yak or goat skull thingy, and it's all done with brass and jewels. And that actually used to belong to Ed Warren. So I have that in the showcase with the skulls.
Oh, you should bring that for show and tell one day.
I could.
We're
Why
gonna
don't I
have
just
show
take
and
everything
tell
out,
because
just
they haven't seen
put
it.
everything on a conveyor belt.
This is all
This is
stuff
this,
I've
this is
seen,
it.
so it's like
He is very
I
cool.
forget it's there. It
I
is.
think it's on Instagram. If you get onto my Instagram page, I think it's somewhere in there,
There you go.
like down in the pile someplace. So I will win. Yes, I will win. It's mine now. I'm a good share. Share the house of the spirit lady. It belongs to her. We know this. We don't even try to pretend it's anything other than the lady of the house who owns this house.
No.
I only just discovered you recently. I will definitely start following you guys. Oh, thank you.
Aww.
Thank you.
We follow back, Kathy.
How old is it? How old is what, Gord? Sorry. I'm kind of like all over the
goat or the skull.
Which
both
skull?
But which skull? I think the 600 one.
The one that's 600 years old came out of the St. Elizabeth's flood of 1425.
Wow.
And it was submerged for 100 years, ended up in this little old lady's collection in England. And then somehow when she passed, a lot of it got divided up. And then a friend of mine in Canada who deals in those type of oddities messaged me, says, I think this one, belongs with you. I'm not sure that it's a mask. I'd almost have to show it to you. It's got these little horns, it's probably about this big. I really don't know because I don't know when Ed bought it. I got it from his daughter, Judy.
That looks like a skull. It doesn't look like a mask.
No, it's a skull. Yeah. And then it's just embedded with jewels. And this one's got brass on it. Some of them have silver. It's just really beautiful. Again, it's on Instagram. I have a public account, so you don't necessarily have to follow me if you don't want to, but it is public. So you can go scroll through some of the images and you can see it. And and you can definitely get a gander at it. I can most definitely show it one night, pull it out of the cabinet and that it shares with, all the other guys. So
or women.
He's right in there in between.
We don't know. Do we know?
I was really honored to have it, to be honest. I was like, have it, when they started parting with some of the estate stuff, I was really, really pleased to have it. And it is an honor to be its caretaker now.
Oh my gosh. Wish her a happy belated birthday for me, Sam. Love you guys. Mwah. So watched her first time. She's too young. Go to bed, Samantha Pisano. My niece, sorry. Oh, but thank you. She's too young. If she has nightmares, you better call me. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Samantha's my niece and my godchild.
There we go.
Yeah. And her daughter's very gifted. Speaking of gifted, that's probably why. And then shut everything down, which children often do.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, just going through. Yeah, children are very gifted, and I think that parents need to try and not try to be understanding about it, because I know like we come from a different time, some of us, and to say, oh, imaginary friend, you're just like, some children hear things like, don't be stupid, there's no such thing, you're silly, you're ridiculous, stop talking like that, you don't want people to hear you talk like that, and unfortunately, now don't get me wrong, children can be the teller of tall tales, we all know this, and they're really good at it. Yeah. However, most times it's because they're very, very gifted. And a lot of times they are seeing something. So what happens if, like the case of the little boy I was talking about earlier tonight, who thought he had an imaginary friend? It turned out that it was something very dark and very malevolent and turned that whole house upside down. And that was really frightening. You're having a little baby thrown out of its crib. You're having another little one that was 2 years old being terrified and being scratched. And then the oldest, being 4, was having to interact with this thing. It's really frightening. Listen to what they say, because if they stop talking because they don't want to feel belittled and they don't want to feel like they're doing something wrong, believe me when I tell you, there are many, many, many cases out there where something is going to be listening and something is going to be talking to them. Man, I've seen some bad hauntings. Oh, well, if you want them gone, you should just message me. We can help you with that.
No, she wrote, we welcome them to
The shadow people?
Yeah, my son sees shadow people in our home, and my daughter has things moved in her room. We welcome them to get our attention during the day and not when trying to sleep. It doesn't work that way, Patricia.
Well, I mean, if you're talking to Mike Rixinger, for example, who talks about shadow people, some people believe that they're very benign. Some people, I've never really come across one that was.
I only know Mike that has said that. I don't know anyone else.
Well, yeah, he's written a book on it. He's done a lot of research. For the most part, yeah, I don't know. I think it depends. Everybody's different, right?
I think it depends on what we see as shadow people. Is it an outline? Is the shape always the same? Is there a hat shape? Is it a large figure? Is it a small figure? To know the difference between that shapeshifters and something malevolent, or it could just be a spirit of a loved one who's passed trying to get your attention. To know what it exactly it is very important. That's all that I'm saying. Yeah, with Mike, I get his, but his look different as well when he's talking.
There's also white shadows, believe it or not. So,
yeah.
Tamara says, I think the after effects of these types of mimics can cause lasting effects and need to be taken seriously. 100% on that. Bradley, we've helped you with a few. Yeah, they
Most
seem to like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always someone walking down the hallway, and it could just simply be past owners. It could be anything. It could be residual.
That's what she just said now.
Oh,
yeah, 106-year-old home. Is it the same time of day or night? Yeah, because
this house is 1872, and it used to have like a lot more. Moved in here, I'm thinking not enough room in here for all of us.
my experience with people's experiences of them telling me with shadows and what I've experienced in my own life, they always escalate. So if it's not escalating, then it's okay. That's what I mean by it's not always a good thing to interact with. And it would be interesting to see if it's residual or if someone's stuck behind.
Yeah, I mean, some people are very comfortable with it. I've known people who said to me, clear the house, for years. I'm like, okay, clear the house. Then they'll say, well, I miss my spirits. I want them back. Well, you're going to have to try to ask them to come back now.
And it has to be their choice. Yeah,
exactly.
It has to be their choice.
Very important to know who you are interacting with, especially with children. Oh my gosh, I could not agree with you more. Absolutely. And again, like if you're going to research a home or investigate a home, do your homework. Do a background check. Get as much information as you can. Sometimes, I mean, I've just Googled an address and it's amazing what has come up. You can find out all kinds of information. But children, oh man, you can move into a location and children are little radars. They're going to see. If there's something there, they're going to see it. Your pets are going to see it. They're going to know. I think the key is we as adults have to pay more attention. Life is busy for us. Some people work 2 jobs, some people 3 jobs, some people are just preoccupied. We have busy lives. We do not always notice when little things are going on in the house. Things are moving around. I don't know. If you've got a pile of stuff out there, are you going to notice if anything is moved out of place? This is an old house. It creaks. It does all kinds of things, clearly, but it's a matter of like, are we so conditioned to it that we just don't think about it? And meanwhile, things just start getting, more comfortable and start amping up. Like you just don't know. We need to really slow down long enough to pay attention to our surroundings, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to be doing a 1906 CPR train station. That would be fun. Imagine the emotions that are in the fabric of that place. I'm interested to see what comes out of it. I would love to hear
My
what
gosh.
comes out of it. We'll have to bring you back on, Bradley.
Probably get a lot of soldiers, Bradley.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean,
Yeah.
Out east, everything's sort of coming in, for the most part from the east.
But
and
the
what are they-
immigrants too from
Yeah.
Halifax and
No, exactly.
wow.
What am I hearing? Crunch, crunch. Is that you?
That was me moving, yeah.
Okay.
If it's still happening, I have no clue.
It's like, oh,
I'm staying
all right.
still as possible right now. So I need
my
to hear.
God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we have to call it a night, I can't believe how fast these Q&A
So
goes.
much fun.
We have so much fun with you guys. We just
Yeah.
start reading everything and just start getting really involved. Before you know it, we're hitting on the 11 o'clock mark. It's like, God, already? Where did the time go? I feel like we just sat down. And if anybody listens to the archive, I want to know what you hear in the background. Got my earphones. I can't hear. So I'm too busy like yattering. So let us know. I'm always happy to hear what you guys find. They would have brought the bodies of World War II men back home there. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lots of soldiers.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we'll
You'll
give you
get
heads
clergy
up.
from World War II as well. You're going to get chaplains on that. I can see it. Sorry.
It was a hello last show. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Tamara. Thanks, everybody who tuned in. Just to give you guys a heads up, okay, we're going to be doing another one. This was last minute because, our guest, Micah Danks, just messaged. He goes, I'm really sick. So it's like, really, it happens. 'Tis the season. We'll see you next week. But so we this is a surprise one. But we are scheduled to do another one of these on December 22nd, which would be in... not this coming Wednesday, next Wednesday. So get your questions together, your comments, your experiences. We want to hear all about it.
Yeah, your mulled wine.
I know, right? I got some wine. Let's just all sit and have a parlay.
Your hot toddies.
I know. It'll be fun. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you really enjoyed it. Thank you all for tuning in. You guys just make it that much more fun. And I always say, the Outer Realm is really about information, and it's about bringing people on at the top of their fields, or just, with a lot of information. And we've got a great lineup coming up for 2022, already booking, into the first couple months of the year. Everybody got mad at me. You shouldn't book 6 months, but that's how many people want to come on the show.
It's really hard not to.
Then people are like, oh God, was I booked? So now we're trying to keep it only, 2 to 3 months in advance. So Patricia, I'm really glad you found me too. This is great. I do remember you from the castle, though, just so you know. Anyway, I always remember the repeat people who come back. I'll come on live on investigation some night if we can plan it right, because we do book in advance. Then yes, I think that would be a lot of fun. Need to hear half of my experiences. Well, we have enough Q&As. You just write them up, send them to me. We can talk about them in advance if you like, to save you putting them in chat. There's always options, and we always love to hear what you think. We want to hear what your experiences. Maybe you've traveled somewhere that you feel. We have a lot of people who are coming on saying, where's a good place to go? What's the most haunted place? So share it up. I think it would be awesome. You guys might make some good connections also. And with that being said, I have to do an official, the official good night. And then we have to really say good night. So of course we have come to the end debut of another fantastic segment here on the Outer Realm. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. You guys in chat are awesome. We love to just see your comments, and we love to interact with you guys. You just make it just that much more interesting. And remember, there are millions of people around the world who listen to this show and are listening and seeing your comments as they come up. And yes, not kidding, really are millions of people who are listening live. So, Emma, you're a bot. We're going to have to just block you. Do everybody notice on before I go back to the outro, how many bots are coming on YouTube right now? It's terrible. So
it's
anyway,
that time of year.
Block. So thanks again to everybody in chat. Big thank you to Folgers Coffee. My gosh, we are just so honored that you enjoy the show and that you have faith in us to represent you guys. So thank you. Also, same applies to Justin Snicker, Dr. Snick.
Yes, love his music.
We love and are so honored to be playing your music and hearing your voice for our intro and outro at the beginning end of every show. So guys, head on over to the International Public Radio, UFO Paranormal Radio YouTube channels, and whatever. I can never remember the other one. Sorry.
UFO and Gods and Extraterrestrials.
Yay, there it is.
I didn't mention it.
Subscribe. Don't forget to show us some love on the Outer Realm Facebook. Come on, pass it on. Tell your friends. This is a lot of fun, right? We're fun.
Yeah.
And don't forget to drop us a line at the outerrealmcontact@gmail.com. The outerrealmcontact@gmail.com. We love to hear what you have to say. Maybe you'd like to see someone on the show. Maybe you'd like to be on the show yourself. Drop us a line. I can't do it through Messenger. I get too many messages every single day. That's the only place I will respond to requests like that. Now, next week, is going to be a heck of a lot of fun because Wednesday we have the return of Carl Cookson and Hamilton White, the Relic Hunters. But boy, it's not going to be what you think this time. I can personally assure you, because Hamilton and I have jammed about this a little bit. For those of you who are not familiar with, or may be familiar with, out-of-place artifacts that just show up and you're like, how can this thing be here? Mm-hmm. This is going to be like a show and tell also.
You don't want to miss that.
You don't want to miss that. That guy's got everything, honestly.
Yeah, he really does. He's like his own little magnet.
He's just, the stuff is wild. So anyway, you're not going to want to miss that. And Thursday night, of course, Micah Dank is going to be joining us. And he's going to be discussing the Book of Revelations and the Book of Enoch with his own work and his own theories. The last time he was on, really fascinating. So until then, we bid you good night. And Jonathan, there will not be a gray zone this Saturday. It'll be the next Saturday. So again, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Is what on Facebook? What on Facebook? It will be on Facebook because we stream on 8 different platforms. So you'll definitely get it. So everyone, thank you. We love you. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next week.
You have been listening to The Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, airing live every Wednesday and Thursday evening, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 to 10 p.m. Central, on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.